Are you thinking about moving to Springfield, Virginia? Well, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to give you a look at what it's like to really live in Springfield, from the cost of living, the housing market, job prospects, and a few places to grab a bite to eat. By the end, you'll have a clear understanding of whether Springfield will be a good fit for you and your family. I'm Crystal Walker with Ask a Walker, and I'm here to tell you everything about where to live in Northern Virginia. If after watching the video, you're ready to explore your home buying plans in more detail, just click the link in the description to schedule your perfect home consultation. You'll meet virtually with our lead agent, my husband Abraham, and he'll be able to help you navigate the process and answer any questions you might have about buying a home here. Now let's dive in. I'll start by sharing some of my favorite things about Springfield, and then we'll switch gears and talk about a few drawbacks you'll want to consider before making your move. Ready? Let's go. So one of the biggest draws to Springfield is going to be a central location. If you look at a map of Northern Virginia, you'll see that Springfield is near major highways like 95, 395, and 495. These highways connect you to DC, Maryland, and other parts of Virginia, making your commute or weekend travel a lot simpler. For instance, if you're heading to DC for work, you can hop on 395 and be there in about 45 minutes, give or take, depending on traffic. If you prefer not to drive, there's also the Franconia-Springfield Metro station, which is a part of the Blue Line. This station offers a convenient way to get into the city without dealing with the headache that is rush hour traffic in Northern Virginia. And let's not forget the slug lines, a unique form of carpooling where you can line up and catch a ride with someone who needs an extra passenger to use the HUV lanes. Because of its easy access to highways and public transportation, Springfield appeals to many people who work in DC, Arlington, and other area employment hubs like Tysons Corner and Reston. It's a sweet spot if you want a suburban lifestyle and relatively painless connection to the area's major job centers. When it comes to shopping, Springfield is ideal. The Springfield Town Center, which many still call the Springfield Mall, has undergone significant renovations over the last decade. You have your typical anchor stores like Macy's and JCPenney's, and inside the mall, there's Bath & Body Works, H&M, all the sneaker stores you find in your typical American mall. There's also a solid size Sephora with a nice selection of makeup, skincare, and fragrance. Although I personally wish it had a wider range of high-end makeup brands like Pat McGrath, but that could just be me. Still, if you need to pop into the mall for clothes, shoes, or cosmetics, Springfield Town Center is super convenient. On top of that, there's loads of dining options along the mall's perimeter, from Yard House and Maggiano's to Chewy's. When my boys were younger, they used to love to visit Dave & Buster's. They're far too old for it now, but if you have younger kids, there's also a Lego Discovery, which is like the ultimate indoor playground. Springfield Mall is a nearby safe space for teens, and it's just large enough to have enough stores to take care of your basic needs and not so many that the size feels daunting. For everyday errands, Springfield Plaza is a local favorite because it has grocery stores like Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, and Giant all in one spot. If you're looking for specialty items like fresh cuts of meat, Springfield Butcher is another huge draw. My family personally loves discovering new mom and pop restaurants all over the area, especially ethnic cuisine. You've got every type of food imaginable here. My favorite spot is Flame Kebab, which serves Afghan food. There's a number of Peruvian chicken places, which is practically a staple around this area. Come to think of it, I think nearly all of my favorite restaurants in Fairfax County are in Springfield. There's Mike's American Grill, which has like the best grilled salmon. The ribs are great. They have this incredible bread pudding for dessert. And then right across the street is Best Buns Bakery, which is owned by the same restaurant group. Anyway, overall, having so many shopping and dining options close by is a huge convenience. You're not forced to drive a half an hour just to pick up groceries or get a decent meal. What I really appreciate about Springfield is that you're not tucked away in some far-flung area away from everyday conveniences. Even though Springfield is a suburb, it's not isolated. You can get to supermarkets and retail shopping, local gyms, and restaurants all within a few minutes of most neighborhoods. And if you want to explore beyond Springfield, places like Old Town Alexandria, Tysons Corner, or even downtown Fairfax are going to be relatively close. It strikes a good balance between having a suburban feel while still being close to amenities. Another big pro for Springfield is going to be the variety of housing options. You can find everything from small condos and starter homes to larger single-family homes with spacious yards. It's one of the reasons we often recommend Springfield to people who want more flexibility in their budget and preferences. If you're aiming to stay under $1 million for a single-family home, which in Fairfax County can be a bit of a concern, there are going to be plenty of detached homes available in the $600,000 to $900,000 price range, although the neighborhoods will vary. And if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, there are so many wonderful townhome communities and even condos that can still offer comfortable living spaces. Neighborhoods in Springfield often feature tree-lined streets, local parks, and community trails. Many of them are well established, meaning that you're going to see mature trees and get a sense of character you might not find in some newer developments. You also get a nice mix of architectural styles, from classic brick front colonials to split level homes. And we can't talk about Springfield without highlighting the incredible job market market that surrounds it. Northern Virginia is part of the larger DC metro area, which is home to a wealth of employment opportunities. The federal government is obviously a major employer in this area, with agencies like the DoD and State Department stationed around the region. Many of these agencies are an easy commute away. Some are even located in Springfield or in neighboring areas like Fort Belvoir. But beyond the federal government, the defense and tech industries are huge here. Companies like Boeing and Lockheed Martin have a massive presence. And let's not forget about Amazon's HQ2 in Arlington, which has already started to spur growth throughout the area. Over in Reston and Tysons Corner, you're going to find offices for tech giants like Google, Microsoft, and other major organizations. With so many government contractors and startups as well, there's a lot of variety for people in tech, consulting, healthcare, and other specialized fields. That means, at least for now, you might only need to commute a couple days a week, which makes living in Springfield even more appealing. You get a little more space and a quieter atmosphere without worrying about your daily commute. And because there's such a broad base of employers, there's also relative stability in the job market. For number 5 is going to be schools and education. For many families, schools are a top priority, and Springfield delivers. The public schools here, especially within the West Springfield Pyramid, are known for offering a solid education. So no matter your preferred research method, whether it's going to be Great Schools, Niche.com, or a School Digger, the numbers speak for themselves. Standardized test scores and graduation rates are often high, but it's not just about those numbers. Highly rated schools usually have more satisfied teachers, and that attitude tends to trickle down to the students. Teachers are generally well supported, and many residents are actively involved in school PTAs, fundraisers, and community events, which all help to foster a positive atmosphere. From advanced placement centers to immersion programs and schools that focus on a STEM curriculum, you'll find it all in Springfield. Your children will also find plenty to do after school, with sports like volleyball, baseball, basketball, and football being big here. West Springfield High in particular has a really good girls volleyball program, and their boys tennis team was a standout last year. But honestly, there are team sports for every season at the high school level through fall, winter, and spring. Clubs and advanced programs give students the chance to explore their interests, whether it's robotics, theater, or the arts. And unlike sports teams, these programs are usually offered beginning at the elementary school level. Now, if you don't have kids, don't tune me out just yet. Living in an area with highly rated schools can also boost your home's resale value. Future buyers with children will naturally be drawn to strong school districts, which can make it a smart investment long term. But even rentals will pay a premium to live in the right school zone. So if you plan to rent out your property in the future, that's another potential perk. All right, so let's shift gears and talk about some of the drawbacks. First is going to be the cost of living. While Springfield can be more affordable than places like Arlington or Alexandria, it's still Northern Virginia, and that often means higher than average expenses. And housing is going to be the biggest factor. Single-family homes here tend to be less expensive than those closer to DC or in prime McLean neighborhoods. But for someone moving from a low-cost area, you may still experience sticker shock. The average price of a single-family home in 2024 was just under $815,000, while the median was around $784,000. And when it comes to townhouses, you're looking at an average closed sales price at about $587,000 and $595,000 median sales price. Property taxes are also something to keep in mind. In Fairfax County, the real estate property tax rate is about $1.14 per $100 of assessed value. So depending on the value of your home, this can add a few $1,000s a year to your housing costs. For most detached homes, you can expect this to be somewhere between maybe $7,500 and $9,000. Plus there's the annual vehicle tax, which is based on your car's value. That can easily be a couple $100 and maybe more if you drive something high-end or brand new. When it comes to daily expenses like groceries, dining, or entertainment, Springfield isn't drastically more expensive than the national average, but it's not considered cheaper either. But you'll probably notice that with certain services like childcare, home repairs, or even landscaping, that the cost can be a lot more than what you'd expect in less populated areas. On to con number 2. If you've heard anything about Northern Virginia, then you probably heard about our traffic. And sadly, the reputation is well earned. The 95 corridor near Springfield can become a parking lot during rush hour, especially on weekday mornings heading into DC and weekday afternoons heading out of it. The Beltway can also be a source of frustration with bottlenecks forming around major interchangings. I always tell people who are considering moving here to check the estimated navigation times a few different times. You want to check on a Monday morning and a Wednesday morning to see what it's like in real time. You don't want to rely on checking one Saturday afternoon at like 2 p.m. in the middle of your home search and think that that's a reliable estimate. And if you're local, even better. Take the drive a few times from Springfield to your job and and do a reverse commute one day after work. If it's stressful, you might want to consider taking a metro. Many locals choose neighborhoods specifically for their easy public transit access. Keep in mind that even the metro can get crowded, but it's often less stressful than sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic. The bottom line when it comes to traffic is this: it can be pretty brutal. But if you plan ahead or have a flexible work schedule, you may be able to manage it without losing your mind. Con number 3 is the weather. If you're someone who loves all 4 seasons, you will definitely experience them here. However, summers can be very hot and humid. Temperatures regularly reach the 90s, and on some days they can even break 100 degrees. And honestly, the humidity just adds another layer of discomfort to the hot weather. When we first moved here, I thought I had left the sweltering heat of my childhood in Louisiana. But last summer was one of the hottest on record in the mid-Atlantic. There were so many days when I wouldn't even let my kids play basketball outside until the sun went down. It was just heat advisory after heat advisory. On top of that, winters here are hit or miss. Some years we only get a light dusting of snow, but every so often we get a big snowstorm that shuts things down for days. School closures can be a big deal. Just a few weeks ago, my boys had an entire extra week off after winter break due to a snowstorm that dropped somewhere between 8 to 10 inches of snow in Fairfax County. And to top it all off, we're expecting more snow later this week. For parents juggling work schedules, that can be more than a little stressful. But the kids, of course, love it. All they care about is heading to a hill with their friends so they can go sledding. Spring and fall are generally mild and beautiful. You can expect blooming flowers and comfortable temperatures in the spring, and the fall foliage is absolutely stunning. I rave about it all the time. As someone who grew up seeing leaves go from green to just plain old brown, I just cannot get enough of the rich reds and oranges and even purple leaves in the fall. So if you can handle the hot, sticky summers and the occasional snowstorm in the winters, you'll be rewarded with 2 really pleasant seasons in between. So is Springfield, Virginia the right fit for you? It really depends on what you're looking for. If you want a suburban environment with easy access to the city, a broad range of housing options, good schools, and plenty of shopping and dining, Springfield could be a fantastic choice. The community vibe is friendly. There's enough variety in housing to accommodate different budgets and lifestyles. However, you have to weigh that against the cost of living and the inevitable traffic. If you're seriously considering moving to Springfield or anywhere in Northern Virginia, we would love to help you. Click the link in the description to schedule your perfect home consultation. We'll meet virtually and walk you through your options and answer any questions you may have about buying a home in this area. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope this overview has given you a clearer picture of what Springfield has to offer. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment if you have a question about this area or want us to do a video about a specific neighborhood. Until next time, take care, and I will see you in the next video.